Sunday, but I wanted to give an update that I saw, man. Shout out to CFL Podcast, who was the first I saw to drop this information that Deion has officially offered Kelden Ryan out of Keller, Texas, 6'2" quarterback who happens to be a high school freshman. That's huge. A high school freshman, a scholarship, and this is more or less like a Nick Saban type of move, where you're poaching kids so early when you can get, and sorry for the GPS company. So, yeah, so sorry about that. So, this is huge information. Damn, I'm getting bad reception. Let's see if it improves. Okay, so a lot of kids, when they get offers, get an offer, they make those posts, and the kid tweeted out, blessed to have a offer from Jackson State, which is good. You know, that means he's interested in the offer. But me being a former coach, I know pretty much all those kids do that. No matter what offer they get, they always say that, blessed to get an offer from. And it's funny because when you were younger, that wasn't really a thing to put that on social media, getting an offer. You just would tell people, I guess, word of mouth. But it's funny to see that the culture now lends itself to kids, you know, basically advertising the offers that they get in a big hullabaloo, as it were, online. So I think that's a good thing, you know, offering kids early, because if he turns out to be a stud, you got his commitment early. Now the downside is, if he turns out to not be what you thought he was, that could pose a problem. I think Alabama had a quarterback, John David Booty. If I'm remembering correctly, got a scholarship early, like in 8th grade, but he didn't pan out. Now, if I'm saying that in error, y'all in the chat, y'all correct me. But it's a calculated risk. But if you see the upside, you know, Deion used to coach in Texas, so he has a strong handle, you know, over the Texas recruiting scene. Naturally, I mean, because he's not so far removed from it. So I do want to say that. So I think this is a good news as far as Deion just being who Deion is. He's being progressive. He is basically breaking the normal practice that a lot of HBCU, SWAC in particular, coaches usually do, and he's setting his own standard. And you just got to appreciate it. And this kind of goes back to my video where he was rumored to go to TCU. Never been confirmed, but I was saying Deion is a forward thinker. He's always been that way. He's always going to be that way. And I really like seeing a story like this, because a lot of coaches don't have the gumption, the balls, as it were, to step out of recruiting this fashion. So shout out to Deion in the camp, man. Shout out to Coach Prime. I know some people in the comments last time was on my ass for calling him Deion Sanders. And I'll say this. Any coach, if you are a household name, I'm gonna call you by your name. Like Nick Saban, I think I said that earlier in this live. I'm gonna call you by your name because you don't have to really do all that. Now, if I'm gonna meet you personally, I'm gonna call you Coach Saban. I'm gonna call you Coach Sanders, Coach Prime, because when you're formal, it's important to address men formally. I totally agree with that. But if it's informal, you can use whatever title that you like, especially we talking about creating content on YouTube. So I want to correct that, because people really get that shit twisted. And that's what Coach Prime was saying, like, when you address me properly. And any man has a right to ask that. But if I'm just making content in the open space, I don't have to call him Coach Prime, Coach Sanders every time I think about him, because reality is he's permeated into our existence in many different facets, you know, through our lives. And he just now been a coach. But again, even if he was a lifetime coach, I would say was Pete Carroll. I'd never say Coach Carroll. I say Pete Carroll. So for y'all who be trying to nitpick people's content and act like, and I'll go ahead and say it, the person was saying, oh, you being like the white media doing. I was just like, dude, get a life, man. Get a life. There's no disrespect. It's just when it comes to consciousness, I always call every coach by their name. Phil Jackson, I've never said Coach Phil Jackson. I don't think I've ever said Coach Phil Jackson in my life. It's always been Phil Jackson. So it's not disrespect, it's just matter of fact. So let me say that, you know, as the content pushes forward. But yeah, I want to drop in video real quick. Shout out to Deion getting ahead of the curve, being ahead of the curve, living ahead of the curve, like he is in Jackson State. Y'all enjoy that man while he's there, man. Enjoy that man while he's there. And again, shout out to CFL Podcast for putting this information out first. Shout out to my GPS interrupting my live, so that's all I got, y'all. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.